Yo, it's your boy, Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another show today. And in this show today, we're going to speak about why I do not back Ange Postecoglou. And the reason for doing this show today is quite simple. People ask me why I do not back Postecoglou. And the answer is quite simple. Because I never, ever really backed him from the very, very get-go. I never believed in all the hype from the first place when people were telling me to back him, do my research on him. I'm going to go into this in this show today. We're going to go into deep why I don't like him, to make it clear to some of the people that don't understand why I don't like him and why I can't back this Ange Postecoglou. So everyone in the chat, whoever's watching, whoever's listening or watching back on playback, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into the show today. And big up to everybody in the chat, because it's quite late on a Sunday evening. We're going into the week. Everyone's going into the week, going into their homes. And on Box Office, in Box Office City, we're going to go right deep into this manager that I'm told that I need to believe in, but I can't believe in, and that's it. So let's stop the waffling. Let's get straight to the actual show, and that's it. So well done. Welcome to everybody from Mr. Box Office TV. Just keep liking, subscribing. Whoever's in, keep locked in. And well, I'm going to start with this context to why I don't like Ange Postecoglou and why it started from that. We start with, who did I want in the first place? And it's quite a simple answer. Maybe it was quite an obvious answer, really. And the answer is my answer is Pochettino, Mauricio Pochettino. For the simple reason is that because I knew what I was going to get with Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino was a guy that I could get good football. I knew he was a good coach, that he could mold players into what he wanted to do, but also he can make the players better, which is something that is going to be interesting to go into when I go into some of the things that I don't like about Ange. But one thing I do say about Pochettino, he uses the squad that he's got and he tries to make the best out of it. What I also will say, he uses young players as well. So I knew what I was getting with Pochettino. He knew what he was going to be getting when he comes to Tottenham. Working with Daniel Levy, working with the director of football, whoever was in charge, and that was it. I mean, it's funny because I never liked Pochettino in the first place. Like everyone knew, I wanted Frank de Boer. But after 1.5 seasons with him, he understood his players. He gave us a philosophy. He worked with the young players. He worked with the players that he had. Then he understood what players he needed, what players he didn't want, got rid of the players, and you saw a change in the guard, what we saw, and that's it. Pretty obvious why I wanted him in the first place. But when we look at the context of Tottenham Hotspur, and it will go on to what my conclusion will be at the end of the show, wrapping this all up. Tottenham, I've been a Tottenham fan since 1998. I was at school, I think, then. You wouldn't even known about Mr. Box Office then. I was trying to get on with life, getting to know myself as a young boy. 11 years old, I was. It was just when Jerry Francis got sacked and we got Christian Gross in. I remember Christian Gross, he came in the press conference and he's shown that he had a ticket, like he won the lottery. He was the next Tottenham manager. We've had 23 managers since then. That's including, I think, also caretakers as well. Putting things in perspective, you look at the Arsenal, our so-called rivals in the top six, who are doing well at the moment. They've had 4 managers. You can guess them from your hand. 4 managers being Arsene Wenger, that was been there for quite a while in my lifetime. Then he went. Then Unai Emery, that was only a short stint, now at Aston Villa now. And then Frederick Ljungberg, who was just caretaker manager. And now you've got Mikel Arteta, who's now looked as the saviour of Arsenal and looked as someone that is bringing on us to the next level. Even though Arsenal now are saying that they need to start winning trophies, which is correct, absolutely spot on, have to be like that, and that's it. When you look at Liverpool, in that time frame, they've had 7 managers in that time frame. So you can see the stability level here. 23 managers in that time frame. When I've been since 11 years old. Now I'm 37 years old. And Liverpool have had 7 managers. Gerard Houllier is in that list. Roy Hodgson's in that list. Rafael Benitez is in that list. Brendan Rodgers is in that list. Jurgen Klopp, who just recently left, is in that list. And now Arne Slot is in that list right now. Just shows you the stability of all the managers. Oh yeah. Also, I have to give an honorary mention to our brilliant owners, Enoch and Daniel Levy. In that time frame of them being in charge of Tottenham Hotspur, they've had 19 managers. 19 managers have come through the door. Now we've got the brilliant Ange Postecoglou that I can't back. So work that one out. Which just gives you a bit of an understanding why it's just been a lot of instability being a Tottenham fan since 11 years old. So that's all I've known since then. Not seen anything since then. Not seen anything different than them. And it's quite interesting now, people saying to me to back this guy when I've not had the ability to actually understand that. When we've had good managers before that we didn't back and they've been better. Let's be honest. I can't get excited anymore. The excitement that I have for the likes of Harry Redknapp is compared to what I'm getting with Postecoglou at the moment is I just can't do it. I really can't do it. And it really goes into some of the stuff, some of the areas where I think he's really short as a manager for Tottenham Hotspur, and where I'm not seeing anything. I saw the documentary. People were encouraging me to watch the documentary of Postecoglou, and I watched it and I thought, okay, good, cool. Celtic, cool. Australia, cool. Japan, cool. Let's see what he does at Tottenham Hotspur. And from all the things I've seen, I said, I'll see what he does at Tottenham Hotspur. This is what I found out, and then we'll get straight into it. With the first thing why I don't like him as a manager. And it's quite simple. Number one, Ange's not a good coach. Reason why I say he's not a very good coach, when I look at the squad of Tottenham Hotspur, who's improved? Who's actually improved at Tottenham Hotspur? People will tell me, Pape Sarr's improved. Why? Why is he? How has he improved? I don't think he's improved skill-wise. I don't think he has. I don't think he has at all. But yeah, he works hard for the team. He may be more effective for the team. Yeah, maybe that is, and that's it. Maybe that's his MO, and that's it. They'll say Kulusevski's improved. I'll sit there and say, well, Kulusevski was better in Italy. Let's be honest. I don't think he's improved to a point where I saw the improvement in certain players under Harry Redknapp, Martin Yole, even under Villas Boas, even under Ramos. There was certain players that were improving individually, not as a team, individually. They'll say Johnson's scoring more goals. He's putting himself in the right position. Okay, that you're doing your job, mate. Cool. You're not doing what Saka's numbers are at the moment, are you? Saka's numbers are better. You know, you're not setting the world alight because you were so bang average before last season. You're doing the same thing that you're doing at Nottingham Forest. So well done. You've gone back to the same level that you're at Nottingham Forest. You haven't got any better. Well done. Romero's got worse. He's regressed. He's making more mistakes. I'm now saying that I'd rather have Davis and Dragusin in my defence. They'll say that Mickey van der Ven's improved. I think he's doing the same thing he was doing at Wolfsburg, if I'm really honest with you. And then you look at the strike force. Son's got worse when he's regressed. Timo Werner is only doing his job. Solomon's gone off on loan because he was injured too much. So overall, who's improved? We're not using any youngsters. That I was told that the youngsters are actually very, very good. Well, I don't see that many of them because he hasn't trusted them. The likes of Archie Gray, Bergvall, Dorrington, the class of 92, I was told by certain people. So when I look at some of the comparisons to some of the other managers that are in the Premier League at the moment, you see the work that they are doing. You see the work that Eddie Howe did with Joel Linton. Now that's improvement. That's improvement. Putting him in a different position, and then he's getting better every season. Isak getting better every season because maybe the quality of player, but also you can see the coaching of him, and that's it. The coaching that he's doing with the player. He's improving the way that they're playing. You can see the fact that, yeah, Newcastle are mid-table. People will say they're mid-table, but you can see the individual, the way that they're improving. They're becoming a more important player for the team. I don't see that for Tottenham at the moment. Arsenal, you see Trossard doing what he was doing, improving as a player. Gabriel as a defender, he's improving as a player. The improvement that you're seeing. Havertz, the effectiveness you see that he has, and that's because of the coaching of our Mikel Arteta. Another thing as well is that people say he's not a coach. You can see he's not a coach, Ange Postecoglou. But that for me, if you're not a coach yourself, you get coaches in to help you coach the players to be better players, better individuals. But he hasn't done it. And that's an excuse when people say, well, he hasn't got that, he can't do it. That's what he's not doing. He's not doing that. Well, no, you don't do that. You get coaches in that are doing that. Harry Redknapp did that. Why did Gareth Bale become better? Because he had coaches to coach him, improve him, make him better, work hard, make himself best, make him better in certain areas. And then he became the world-class player he was and ended up going to Real Madrid. The way he worked with Modric, making him better, making him more comfortable, That's what he did. And Pochettino, the way that he molded Dembele into that big, strong midfielder, the way he molded Son into the player he was, Dele Alli, Ericsson, who was underachieving at that time, Chadley, the way he used the players like Mason at the time, Harry Winks, Sissoko, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Walker, Rose, Trippier, Davis, Wimmer of all people, Wimmer. The way he used Moira. The players at his disposal, he coached the best out of them. Got the best out of them. Getting the best out of them, using what they are good at, but also advancing them into different, to make them better in terms of what they were doing. But I don't see this with this manager. I don't see the progress of every player. I see the same old thing. They're doing the same things that they were doing when they came to the club. And yeah, maybe people will argue saying it's a different era now. It's about the team. And I take that argument. But for me, you have the coaches to do that. Yeah, you can do a system. That's cool. But it is about a player development, because if we don't develop as a player, you just go stale. And that's what happened with Pochettino under his reign. It just went completely gone. And some of the excuses I hear from Tottenham fans, which I've heard a few recently, and this is a good one. I've heard, he needs to still get to know his players still. And I'm sitting there confused, and I'm thinking, he's still getting to know his players after a year and a half. Well, Conte only needed 6 months, and he got Champions League with his players that were pretty bang average. Let's say this. He got the best out of Davis that everyone thought should have gone, and he's still at the club. He got the best out of Dyer, because they called him Virgil van Dyer. He played around the Harry Kane and Son, and got the best out of them with Moira. He got a good midfield with Kulusevski and Bentancur, who were the influence on us getting into the Champions League, beating Arsenal to it, who were favourites at the time. So he didn't need that much time. Mourinho didn't need that much time, and he got us to a Carabao Cup final with Harry Winks, Sissoko, yes, Harry Kane and Son, but he based the team around them and got the best out of him. Moira, washed up Dele Alli, that was still at the club, still got and he had Gareth Bale at the time. Well, he didn't have Gareth Bale at the time, but you should see what I'm talking about. We had not a very good squad, and we still got 5th with Mourinho. So he didn't need that much time to get to know his club, his players. But this manager needs more time. It makes no sense. And then there's things about him saying that he needs his coach stuff. He needs to get them to learn Ange Postecoglou's way. And it's just like, well, where's the suggestions from the coaches to actually improve the players? Where's the actual suggestions of what's their inputs in this? Which goes on to my second point of why I don't like Ange as well, which I'll go on to a little bit more later. Big up to everybody in the chat, and I will get into that in a bit, but I'm just on my flow at the moment. But it just leans into why I think we are inconsistent. Why we don't have the leaders in the team, because there's no player development. Why there's no composure in the team, because we're not learning that, because Ange Postecoglou's football is very much fast and paced, and that's what he wants. He just wants to attack. There's no actually just like put the foot on the ball, relax, and let's just keep it for a few minutes, and then go again. There's no coaching of that, rather than what you saw against Fulham, what you saw with Sanderberg. You see that quality. Goodwin, he used to do that. Rodri, he does that. Partey does that for Arsenal. A little bit what Rice does for Arsenal. These are the sort of players that are very good on the ball. Just keep it tight, keep it slow. But we don't have that because we don't have the coaches to do that right now, because we're so into this Ange ball. And that's the frustration for me. And I don't enjoy it. It's no silkiness, there's no flow to it. And you don't see any players who've got the actual characteristics. Like I said, you grow when you develop. You grow and develop those skills and qualities of being arrogant and swag, the composure. You grow with that. And you see that with Liverpool, with some of the players that they've got right now, with Arne Slot. You saw it a little bit with Klopp as well, because they coach it into them and they develop those qualities. But I don't feel that we have those sort of players to do that, because we're not coaching that. We're playing this fast rock and roll football that, let's be honest, it's just very kamikaze, very messy, and that's it. Not to make the pun messy, just isn't. And when everything's in a bit of a mess, you're not really learning anything. You're not really organized. You're not very, and that's really my take on why I can't do this. I don't think he's a very good coach. Pochettino's proved it. You see with Emery, he's proved it with certain players that he improves. You see that with Pep Guardiola, not recently, but previously with other teams. He's with Man City, he's improved players, and the risk goes on, and they get the best out of the players that they've got, work to the players, and adapt to the players that they've got, and that's it. And it will go back to why my next point, why I don't rate Ange, and it goes on to my second point of the show today. And it's this. I don't like Ange's tactics. I do not like Ange's tactics at all. I think the tactics don't suit the players. It fits the players' needs, what they are, adapt to what they are. And the thing is, he had something perfect for the players that we had, and he played it against Man City, and you saw a little bit in the second half against Aston Villa. And what we did is that we soaked up the pressure on Man City, and we just countered them very, very quickly. Just putting balls over. We put the ball over the top for the first goal. Bish bash bosh. You had Kulusevski on the right. He crosses it in. Then you see Maddison score the goal. And it was just the way that we pressed and the way that we countered Man City, because they had so much of the ball, that suited the way that we played, especially with the centre-backs that we had. But what Ange does, he plays this inverted way of playing, where he plays inverted fullbacks. He plays this midfield, which for me is either too attacking and leaving too much space and not too much space for Maddison to actually create, who's our creator. You got Kulusevski, who seems to have a free role to get around the pitch, just going around, just doing whatever he's doing. And it's just, for me, I don't see this. He's just not the tactics are just not suiting the players. It only suits certain players like Van der Ven, who, for me, is not a great defender because all he uses his pace too much. And if you actually ask him to defend, I think he'll struggle. But then you see Dragerson and Davis, they're proper defenders who can defend, who are ones that can defend and do what they're supposed to be doing, defend from the back and kick it out, or actually head the ball out, or just be a very good organizer in hard times when we're under pressure, and that's it. So for me, it's just that this is where Ange is very, very stubborn, and it's not like we're playing beautiful football with these tactics. It's just very much passing around for the sake of it. For me, there's no fluency at all. There's no triangles. There's no actual focus on what we are actually good at and what the actual players are good at. When you've got fullbacks who are more wing backs, are good at attacking, we're letting them attack. We're just letting them trying to be these number 10s, which don't really work when you've got two number 10s who are very good at what they're doing in terms of trying to find space and trying to find that pass or score goals. And that's in Maddison and Kulusevski. Kulusevski lesser, but Maddison more for me. So it just doesn't adapt. And then I get some of the excuses that, you know, we saw this against Man City. This is Ange ball, Man City. This is Ange ball. But you can see now that Man City forced us to play that game because we went back to what we were doing to type against Fulham, and we saw this against Roma as well, and we got absolutely cooked on the wings, on the flanks, because we're verting our fullbacks too many times. We're trying to play out from the back, which we're not comfortable doing. With Davis and Dragerson, we're not comfortable doing at all. And it just feels that if we had a second plan, it would be better for us rather than actually doing what we're doing at the moment. But we haven't got that. It's only sometimes you see we actually counterattack, and that actually works, and it worked really well against Aston Villa. It suits the players that we've got, like Johnson and Werner, because of the pace that we've got. But overall, it's just really silly. And when I'm watching other teams and they look better than us, and we're supposed to be this attacking team, what am I supposed to be? What am I doing? It's like for me, it's like, oh, we're doing well. We work hard. We attack well. We do this. We do that. We do this. But it's like I go to work. It's like, well, if I'm not doing it right, if something's not going right, I've got to think about another way of doing things, because that's what my boss would say to me. But we don't do that. So if I do a certain way to, you know, I'm going on a date and, you know, a certain way and it doesn't work, well, I've got to either change my approach, or if I keep on doing the same thing, I'm not going to get anywhere, am I? If I keep on going to the same places or doing the same things, it's not going to work, isn't it? It's not going to work at all. Yeah, I'll give them some credit. We've got some goods. We do press very well. We do. We're the best pressing team in the Premier League. I don't know the stat, but we are a very good pressing team. We are. But overall, I cannot. These tactics do not suit these players whatsoever. And it was clear to see when we played counter-attacking football, it actually suits us. When we soak up the pressure, it suits us. We got the players to do that. Now, I don't enjoy it. That's why I don't like Ange Postecoglou. I'm not that guy. I'm not a fan of it. But it suits the players that we've got. It suits the players like Johnson, who uses his pace when he's the one that is getting into the right position to score when the other winger is coming down the other end trying to put the ball through. And that's what Ange Postecoglou likes. But it's just, for me, it's not entertaining. It's more entertaining for the opposition. It's for our rivals or neutrals because they've got a lot of goals to watch. But for me, it just doesn't. It's no quality. You don't see the best of any players. For me, we are like a Leicester City back when they won the Championship with Ranieri. But it's just the tactics do not work for me. We dominate the ball, but we do it nowhere. Maddison's not a number 10 for me. We don't have a number 6 to a defensive midfielder to calm the game down. That's what I think we needed. We need to use more, and that's for me. And I can't back this. It's not. It's that for me is all on him to try and make it better. And then I get some of the excuses saying, "Oh, we didn't get the players that we needed." Now, this is where I can't agree with this. The whole thing with Harry Kane. Everyone knew his first season, put Ange Postecoglou, 2023. Everyone knew that it was 2022 or 2023. Everyone knew Harry Kane wanted to leave. Everyone knew. And I don't care what anybody says. Harry Kane wanted to leave. Their replacement for Harry Kane was Brennan Johnson. And that was on Ange. That was on him. We brought in Kulusevski. We brought in James Maddison. We brought in Manus Solomon. We also brought in Phillips, Velis. And this is all on Ange. And this is during the Gabardini, when Gabardini was in charge. Now, you can say whatever you want. The club were looking at Johnson. The club were looking at Maddison. We also brought in Kulusevski as well. But this is all on him. I do not think, for me, regardless what any manager, whatever ITK say to anyone, this is on his watch. And it went on to the summer and the January window when we brought in Timo Werner, of all people, who, was good for 6 months, for a 6 months loan, but not for another loan, especially the wages he's got. Then we brought in Dragusin, who he didn't play at all. Now we've brought in the likes of Dominic Solanke, and we just haven't replaced what we've let go of. And now I'm looking at the team now, and it does not fit what we want. And now we're saying that Solanke's just brought in, who was supposed to be a very good striker, is now just a striker just to hold up the ball and just get players into play. Well, you want your striker to score goals. I'm confused. I'm just really confused. I don't know what else to say on this. So that for me shows me that he's not good enough. He's not there for me. The forwards that we brought in have been terrible, and that's on him. and you've got to say that Wilson Alderweireld as well on his watch this summer. So when we needed to improve, and you've heard me on this show how many times on videos, how many times we need to improve on the players that we got. That is really the fundamentals for me. But yeah, just overall, I can't say to you this is his tactics have been absolutely inept. It's been terrible. And like for me, he could have done so much more with these players. He could have played he could have played 3 at the back. He could have played 5 in midfield. Played 2 players who are two defensive midfielders to complement each other, to help the midfielder and the attacking midfielder, and then the wingers just need to take on their man. That's what I feel. I think it's one of those things where you could just take on their man. Then you have 2 strikers up front, or just 1 up front, and then 1 behind, and that's it. And that would be my formation for me for these players. Because if we really play these players to the best, what they're good at, we could be a very good team. Because yes, you don't have to rate the players individually, but you can get the best out of that you've got. That's what you see with Brentford. That's what you see with Brighton. That's what you see with Nottingham Forest, of all people, with Nuno. And everyone knows Nuno, no one really enjoyed him. I didn't really enjoy him at all. So for me, the tactics have been absolutely bang average. It don't really work for me. And really, to be honest with you, we would have got more points if he's actually adapts better. It's frightening. That shows you how bang average the Premier League is, and that sums it up for me. But moving on to the next point, why I cannot back Postecoglou. And one of the things I have to say this, and it will add on to what I said before, he cannot handle big characters. I think there was a big problem before international week. Before international week with Maddison and some of the players. I think there was a lot of problems. I think players don't like the tactics. There's a lot about him not handling big characters because he let go of some big characters like Perisic. I know Perisic wanted to leave, so that was one thing that I think was quite clear. He wanted to go back to. He wanted to go back to his homeland, Croatia. And Højbjerg was a big character. You can't lie. Now, you know my feelings on him. I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. I didn't rate him for most of his time at Tottenham Hotspur. But like I say, hindsight is a beautiful thing being a Tottenham fan. And when you see when he's gone, you can see the way that we're missing something in terms of character. The Celso, another one as well. Now, I was very critical when he was at Tottenham Hotspur. At the start, I was very defensive over the Celso. But towards the end, now, especially after he's left, I don't think we've improved in any of the midfielders to make them better, who are better than them, to compete with the midfielders we've got at the moment. Because I look at the midfielders that we've got at the moment, I don't rate them at all. And people say we're missing them, but these are the same players that lost against Ipswich, Crystal Palace, Brighton. So I can't. I don't think he can handle big characters. The reason why he fell out with maybe Mike O'Reilly. The reason why he might have not gone for a Ivan Toney, big character with a bit of swag, arrogance. Yes, there's a point that he wanted to go for the money. I take that on board 100%. But he's not. He hasn't got any big characters in that team for me. Son sums it up really. With now you've got Son, Romero, and Maddison as captains. Son for me is a very nice guy, and you're seeing that right now. He's gone downhill. and he's not that strong leader. And maybe people say that you don't need a strong leader. You need just someone that can just set an example. But it really worked very well with Harry Kane. That really, let's be honest, he didn't inspire anyone because we didn't win anything with him. But I think he likes nice guys. And look at the players that we've got right now. You've got Timo Werner, nice guy. Brendan Johnson, nice guy. Son, nice guy. Richarlison. Now, Richarlison, I would say he's got a bit of arrogance, but he's got arrogance in the wrong way. Let's be honest here. Then you've got Alderweireld. Now, we don't really know too much about Alderweireld, let's be honest, but really, he's a young kid. Has he got potential? Yes, he's got potential, but I don't think he's all there in terms of being there. So, yeah, just not for me. Not for me, and I don't know if he's really that good. Bentancur's got a bit of arrogance about him, but inconsistent. Basuma, for me, is a bit of a show-off. Sarr, nice guy. Archie Gray, nice guy. You know, there's no really players. Davis, nice guy. Dragerson, nice guy. Porro, nice guy. You know, I like Vicario's got a bit of arrogance about him. He's got something about him. Solanke, nice guy. Just too many nice guys at the club. No big characters saying, well, I'm not accepting this. Why am I accepting this? Højbjerg would tell it how it is. He'll say, ask questions. He'll say, well, what's this? Why are we doing this for? Asking questions all the time. Mourinho would say it all the time. Conte would say it all the time. This guy will ask questions. No, look at the characters we had before when we were back in the day. We had Sheringham. He wasn't a nice guy. He wasn't a nice guy at all. But he won trophies. He won trophies. He said, "No, I don't like it at Tottenham. No, I'm sorry. I'm a winner." Goes to Man United. Doesn't get on with Andy Cole. Doesn't get on with Dwight York. People didn't like him. Still won trophies. Still was a winner. Still had quality. Defoe. Don't think really people liked him too much. Bit arrogant. Still score goals. Berbatov, quiet. Score goals. Had the arrogance. The swag. Roy Keane, people didn't like him. Didn't like him at all. Just thought, yeah, you just tell it how it is. Won Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues. Because he would tell it how it is. He wasn't a nice guy. Just saying it how it is. And because they had the football knowledge, because they had it up there, yeah, the manager would advise them, yes. He would coach them, yes. But he would just want to, he had it all in here. And he taken some of the knowledge from his manager and he grew. His knowledge grew. And now you see some of these players are now top managers now because they grew with the football knowledge and they didn't need a silver spoon in their put in their mouth. They didn't need it. They had that football and knowledge grew with time. Which you see with Henderson. Henderson's not a great player, but he had it up there, built that leadership in there. And players could be inspired by that. And when you got strong leaders like that, you grow other top leaders, which you've seen with Curtis Jones right now for Liverpool, growing. Ruffenberg. You see these players for Liverpool right now. You saw those players for Man City. Foden, who's playing. He has strong players to learn off. Like your Silvers. Like your Fernandinhos. like your Torres. He was able to learn from winners, company, winners that knew how to win. We don't have that. We just think it's okay. We're in the process. Same old attitude. And this is what we saw with Jose Mourinho, who wanted big characters. He wanted Skriniar, wasn't able to get him. Conte, who wanted big characters. Pochettino, who wanted big characters. He got rid of some big characters. Yes, he did. But he made big characters. He was a very good coach. Martin Jol, he wasn't afraid to get big characters. Harry Redknapp wasn't afraid to get big characters. He loved big characters. He thrived on big characters. I mean, he had the biggest character going with players like Di Canio. He was the biggest character going. He still got the best out of him because he had the coaches to manage them up here and get the best out of them. That's why that when Portsmouth won that FA Cup, it was such a great achievement in his Arsenal. But Tottenham have let go of a lot of big characters, and you can sense why we struggle. We have struggled, and since why we certain times they need the inspiration from the manager. When really, if they had if they've been learning all this time with Ange Postecoglou, they would have known by now what Ange Postecoglou wants. Saying, well, you need to work it out. But really, there's no really big characters really to, when things are going wrong, who's pulling lads together? Who's that guy that's going to put the team on their back and just go out there? Remember Gareth Bale? He would be that one. But we don't have that. Remember David Ginola? He would do that. But we don't have that. We don't have that at all. And that's why I think we don't have any big characters in our team. And I think that's gone missing. Which leads to another thing. Why I don't rate this manager. Another reason why I don't rate this manager. There's a lot here. A lot here, and I've got to be honest, it just shows you why I don't rate this manager. He doesn't adapt. No plan B. I've kind of added to what it kind of adds to the whole thing about I don't like his tactics. He was able to adapt against Man City, but that was kind of forced upon him. He was able to adapt against Aston Villa, but I kind of think it was forced upon him, and he made some good substitutions that day. But he doesn't seem to realize that now this is not really working for the players that he's got. And for me, that's really concerning for me, because maybe he could get away with that at Celtic, in Scotland, but it's not doing him well doing it in the Premier League because they're very seasoned managers right now. And I don't think it's actually helping him, because now you see that he's worried about the players are getting very tired and they're kind of in the red zone. Now you saw against Fulham, you didn't see Kulusevski playing from the start because he's more worried about him getting injured because of the amount of games he's got to play, which really goes into why these tactics are not working. It doesn't really help the players because the amount of effort they've got to put in is really taking a lot on their bodies. And so because of the injuries we've got already, which I don't feel sorry for our team whatsoever. I don't feel sorry for the squad. I don't feel sorry for any of them, because we decided to say that we were happy with the squad, and we can see now we're very, very short at the moment, which is all our fault. And I can't feel sorry for this manager. I can't feel sorry for him whatsoever. When, especially for the hierarchy, especially for Johan Lang, who for me has been substandard. He's nowhere near the quality that we had before with the likes of Frank Arneson, Paul Mitchell, and even now I'm going back on saying that I think I'd rather have Fabio Paratici at our club. We suit a Conte-style football. We suit the fullbacks being wing backs and three at the back. Van der Ven, Romero, or Van der Ven, Romero, and Dragusin. Or it would be, for me, Van der Ven, Dragusin, and Davis. That's my defence for me. And that should be what we should have been moving forward. The midfield, I would say the ones that work out for me would be you obviously got the wing backs, which would be Poro and Adoji, because that's the only options we've got, unfortunately. Then you've got the midfielders. I think you've got to play Sarr and Basuma as a double pivot, because I think that works for me. And then you've got Maddison in the attack. I would put Kulusevski on the right because he works hard and I think he can invert if he wants to do that. Then I would say if you have to put Son there, I'll put Son there, but Son's not playing well at the moment. So you might have to play Timo Werner. Don't quote me on that because we've got no other options. Then you got Son. Then you got Solanke up front. Because you know my thoughts on Richarlison. I think I would get rid of him tomorrow. But for me, that would suit us to the ground. Even when you play 3 at the back, 4 in midfield, and 3 up front, I think that suits us to the ground again, because they're playing as full wing backs rather than full backs. And that suits us to the ground. But we don't do that. We're not adapting. There's no plan B. And I don't see him doing that because he's sticking to what he wants to do. And you can see clearly we do not work. It does not work. It doesn't suit the players that we've got. It's so frustrating. Very frustrating. And it really just kind of shows you why he's just inept as a coach. He's just inept. He's not even a coach. He's inept as a manager. And I don't get it. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I can't back him. These are all the reasons why I can't back him. Which leads me to another thing as well. Because we're rocking and rolling right now. We're rocking and rolling right now because I'm really on a roll with why I can't stand him as a manager. Just going to my points and going into my flow. And again, it's just going to this. He's so overhyped. Like the song, Postecoglou. It's too late in the night, so I can't sing it because I don't want people to wake up. Don't want to wake anybody up who's sleeping right now because they've got work in the morning. But this is I just think he's so overhyped. It's unbelievable. Like, I just think it's maybe because of social media, but I didn't see this hype for Martin Yole. I didn't see this hype for when he came in. I didn't see this hype for Villas-Boas. I didn't see this hype for this over-the-top hype for this manager. And this is just really over the top for me. I didn't see this hype for Pochettino. And maybe because now I've seen it's been more organic with Pochettino because I didn't like him. I didn't even like Villas-Boas, and he persuaded me because of after the way he got the best out of certain players. The way he got the best out of the likes of Huddleston, Defoe, Adebayor, he used them very well. It's just the way he really got the best out of a lot of players. Dembele, but the way he got the best out of he got the best out of a lot of players. That's that first season, and Gareth Bell was the main player. Got to say that, yes, he was. But I think he has a better record than this guy has, Postecoglou. I mean, Harry Redknapp he played some very good football, and got the best out of a lot of players, and didn't get the flowers that he deserved. Let's be honest here. Didn't get the players at all what he deserved at all. And this guy seems to be afforded so many excuses, like I've just mentioned before, when people say that he's still getting to know his players, which is ridiculous. And he doesn't, for me, he's on borrowed time. For me, yeah, okay. I'm not saying you sack him, no, but when you think of the reasons why some of the other managers got sacked, like your Pochettinos, your Harry Redknapps, this guy's really kind of lucky to be well thought of as far as I'm concerned. I just don't see it for me. So for me, the Ange ball is so overhyped. I don't enjoy it. I see better teams playing better football because they use the players better. They can thrive better in the systems that they're in. They also see the better player development, which he doesn't do. He's got a player development guy, which I forgot to mention in the first part of why I don't like Ange. He's not a good coach. He's got a player development guy in Nick Montgomery. Nick Montgomery of all people. So who's renowned for player development. I mean, and from what I'm hearing, and it's quite interesting. I'm just going to bring up this comment because this has come up, and I love this. Absolutely love this. Big up to Daniel Yang. Stop setting expectations on this club. They will leave you disappointed. I don't have any expectations for this club, mate. I do not have any expectations at all. So I'm thank you for your comment, but I don't get it. Why are you saying I've got expectations? I've got no expectations, but I just don't understand the hype. That's what I'm saying. So I don't understand why you're saying I've got any expectations. I don't rate the manager. So when we have games like we had today, when we have games like we have against Ipswich, I'm not surprised because I don't rate the manager. So I don't know why you're saying to me I've got it, I don't know why, but big up to you. Big up to everybody in the show, but big up to everybody in the show today. Big up to you. And big up to everybody in the chat as well. Big up to you. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I just don't rate. I don't rate this manager. I don't rate this man. I don't rate the way that I think he's I think he's very much overhyped, and he needs to. I think he gets afforded so many excuses. I think he's raining on his living off his first 10 games, which everyone got absolutely out their minds about. And I've been justified for not going with this manager because I just, when I'm at the stadium, I don't see what the hype is with this football. I don't see it. It was more organic with Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp was more exciting because you could see it. Pochettino, you could see it. Even with Martin Yole, you could see it. With Spurs, you could see it. But I can't see anything that really is showing me in the future we are going to do well next season or the future looks bright. I don't see it at all. And I can't go on XG because that's XG is an argument I've been told. The amount of shots that we make, much chances we make. The chances we're making because we're doing the same things. We're trying to get into the box, trying to pass it to the other, trying to cross it into the other side of the other winger, the other side, to score the goal. So that's why we're trying to get more chances in the box. So obviously XG would be very high because we're trying to get more chances in the box. But goals can be scored from outside the box. Goals can be scored from corners. Goals can be scored from free kicks. Goals can be scored from any sort of type. So for me, and like I said, Fulham look better than us completely. I thought they played the ball better. They look more better on the ball. They look very fluid on the ball, and I feel like that for quite a few teams. Quite a few teams look more fluid on the ball than us, and that's really what I'm seeing from my two eyes. So I think we're very much overhyped for me. We're not very good. I don't think we're a good above standard team, but I don't think we're as great as what people are overhyping at the moment. That's why I say that I think he's very overhyped, and he's just not, for me, good at all. And it leads me to the next point. Next point for me, where I just don't rate this guy whatsoever, and why I think he gets himself in a big hole. And I think a lot of people have said this. I've noticed this quite a bit now. He talks too much. Talks way too much. For me, this is one of the lasting things for me that I can't. I've now zoned out whenever he talks. Someone asked me a question on the stream, and he asked me, "What do you think about where he says this when he says that?" I've got no answer for him anymore because I just say I don't listen to him. There's talking and there's talking too much. Firstly, saying that now every player that comes in is on me. Well, that's come back to bite him on the backside because Timo Werner's coming in twice. Don't want to mention his name anymore because then I'd rather just go back to sleep and just think it's a dream. Then you've got Solanke, that's on him because he thought this is his perfect striker. I could see why, but at the same time, he doesn't score that many goals. He's not in the goal scoring charts. Not doing too well in that fact. Then you've got the fact that he had a guy at Tottenham fans that he wanted Man City to win last season. Don't think he did any favours because we didn't want Arsenal to win the league. And let's be honest here, we put ourselves in that position because we need to win because we need to get into the Champions League. But we put ourselves in that position when we didn't win some of the games that we did win. We lost because he didn't adapt or didn't produce better tactics in the game to try and do better in those games that we lost or drew. And so we lost ground on getting into top four into the Champions League. So that was on him. Us not doing well as well in that season, we decided not to play we played the second team in the Carabao Cup last season against Fulham. We got knocked out. And then he's complaining about our mentality as fans. Well, what was your mentality there? This is the thing. So for me, he really honestly contradicts himself. Then he says that we are trying to entertain. Maybe it was a kind of sulky comment, over the top, just being funny, which is fine, but it's put in the papers now. So now you said it and that's it. He always wins on his second season. Cool. Yeah, maybe stating a fact, that's cool, but then you're putting pressure on yourself again. So the more and more he talks, says, "Oh yeah, fans can do whatever they want. They can celebrate. They can do what they can go out their minds. We need to prove to the fans. We need to prove it to the fans." But then he goes back on what he says, the penalty games against Man City. So He does not help himself. The guy does not help himself whatsoever. And I'm zoned out him talking. I don't listen to him talking anymore. And overall, I'm not fussed about him anymore. I don't. I just zone out of his press conferences now. I'm not interested anymore. When someone says to me, "Oh, he says this," I'm like, "Okay, fair enough, cool." It's like same Tottenham, different day, same Ange, different day. It's nothing. Why don't you be a bit quiet and just prove it to us, show us, rather than keep on talking. And it's not endearing myself to him. Yes, he did say from the beginning, and I'll give him credit. When if I'm not able to play the way that I want to play, I'm not going to come to Tottenham. But now you're seeing this, I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying this football. I'm not getting this enjoyment. I don't. And if he's going to continue doing this, I'm not on board with this. It doesn't suit any of the players that we are, and it's who we are, mate. That's the thing now. It's who we are, mate. I'm not there. I'm not on board with this, and that is it for me. I can't get on board with that. I can't get on board with this. And yes, I might be wrong. He might win the Carabao Cup. He might win the League Cup. He might do it. But with the way that we are playing, the record, we've lost, I think, 5 games already, which is worse at start that we've seen from any manager since I think Ramos, the last time we won a trophy. So he's not doing himself any favors whatsoever. And yeah, it isn't. This is where I think long term, I don't think it's going to work for me. I don't think it's going to work for me whatsoever. I mean, for me, like I said, I don't listen to his press conferences. His press conferences don't really work for me at all. And I ask a question to people: if this was any other manager for any other team, would you enjoy this? Would you actually be laughing at that other team? Would you be laughing at our rivals if we had someone like Ange in charge of their club? Would you actually like this? Would you laugh at them? Or would you say, yeah, I want that manager? I mean, I'm hearing people from rivals clubs saying that, oh, yeah, we love the way that Tottenham play. We love it. Absolutely love it. And I'm like, really? Come and watch Tottenham. I don't enjoy it. I don't like when he talks the way he talks. I don't enjoy it at all. I think it's awful. I don't enjoy it at all. I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things for me. Not for me at all. And I think for me, these are some of the points that I've put together where I don't think he's a good manager. Well, good, great. I don't think he's good for our club. And the basis of why I've said everything I've said from the start, and I'll have some clips on what I've said before, and I've said it on other shows, and a few shows now, a few channels now are not running anymore, which I've said a few things on there, and I've been consistent. And one of the things I said was at the beginning, and when he came in, I said, well, when Ange Postecoglou came in, I said, I need to see him go through a bad run of games. Then I'll see what the fan base are going to be like. Now you see exactly what you're seeing right now. Now, the difference is, I think he's now getting backed by Daniel Levy, which is why you don't hear me talk too much about the ownership anymore and backing. because I think he's happy with what he's getting. Unlike you saw with Conte and Mourinho, they weren't really accepting what they got. They got on with it, but they weren't really accepting what they got. Conte was quite straightforward about certain players he didn't like Spence, for instance. There was also another player as well that came from Villarreal as well. But when you see, and this is why I kept on saying the example of like Arteta, Arsenal stuck with Arteta through thick and thin, through eighth, and fifth. And there was a time frame where there was Arsenal fans were really hyping it up, ramping it up, saying they don't want the manager at the club. But they stuck with Arteta. Now you're seeing what the results of what's going on right now. The only difference is right now is that I don't know if I think they are backing him right now. I think they're sticking with him right now. So now it's really on Ange to deliver and show his worth for me. And I can't. I just within that time frame, I've really become disengaged because I don't think he's actually. I don't think the director of football is very good, Johan Lang. I think he's substandard. I think Scott Munn is just invisible. And I don't rate the manager. And I think that's because of Scott Munn bringing him in the manager. So for me, this is where I'm a bit, this is frightening at the moment. I think he's actually getting backed. Now, people can say whatever they want. They've got inside information from the club, but I'm only going what I see. And I just don't see it at the moment. I see a manager getting backed by the club, and his talent ID for me, if this is him getting these players in, is poor because he's only brought in a few players, and that is actually very good. So for me, overall, at the moment, I am Ange out. It's not on me to change the game here. It's the board. They've got to stick with their manager. They've got to prove it to me. They've got to shut me up. But at the moment, I'm Ange out. I'm Ange out. That's it. I'm not there with him. I don't enjoy his football. I don't enjoy him as a manager. I don't think he's a good coach. I've explained it all here. And that's all I am in. And yeah, people can say whatever they want. But this is me being unleashed. This is Mr. Box Office unleashed, putting it thick right to the people. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I've done it. And I feel good about this right now because it's been one of those things that have just been really in here for me. And those are all the points why I can't rate this manager. And be up to Ben. He's just asked me a question. Deliver what? Deliver good football. Deliver a team that see players actually developing, getting better, using youngsters that are good at the moment, trying to develop them, which I saw with Pochettino, what I saw with Martin Young, what I saw with Harry Redknapp. So, I mean, these are some of the things I've seen. I'm not seeing the progress in this team, Ben. I'm not seeing it. People are saying that they're seeing progress, saying I need to be patient. What am I patient for? What am I supposed to see? When for a year and a half, I've seen nothing has got better. It's not clear to see. It's no clear to see at all. This style of football does not suit the players that we've got. In 6 months, Conte was able to get us into Champions League with a squad with Eric Dyer, Matt Doherty, Sessegnon, Ben Davis, Sanchez, Luis in goal. Yes, we had Harry Winks. We had Bentancur, yes, Kulusevski come in. Yes, that's cool. We had Bergwijn. Yes, we did Harry Kane, Son. We had Moira. And let's be honest here, I had a go at Moira. And Moira, I would have right in my team right now. Because at least Moira will still go for goal. And he scores a few good goals. I think Moira's 100 times better than bloody Timo Werner. Yes, he's a nice guy, but he got us into the Champions League final, this guy. Heung-min Son was better with Harry Kane. But looking at the strikers we've got now, I'm sorry, it's just... And this is on the manager. And the fact that he can't deal with certain things, it's just, for me, not for me at all. Just I can't do it. I can't do it with this manager. I cannot do it with this manager. The fact that he's got, Pochettino had players like, he brought in the likes of Domina. He had players like Mason. He had Bentaleb. He brought through. He brought him through Tom Carroll. He brought through a few players. Harry Winks, Oliver Skip. There was a time. That was at a time when Conte used to use Oliver Skip, and he used to think that he was very important. He was a very important player, and that's it. As a player for us as well. Got the best out of him as well. So overall, I can't sit here and say this manager's getting the best out of the players we've got. And if he did get the best out of the players we got, the frightening thing is we'd be higher at the table. Because Nottingham Forest were able to get up higher up the table. And you'd say that Nottingham Forest have got a better squad than us. Bournemouth have got a better squad than us. Brentford have got a better squad than us. Fulham have got a better squad than us. But this is the thing. And again, I'm not in charge of sacking the manager. I'm not in charge at all. But he's not proven anything to me to showing me what we are as a club. What we're gonna achieve next season. Yeah, he could prove me wrong. He could do that. But ultimately, I don't think it's really working for me. He doesn't use the youngsters. I think for me, the youngsters should have gone on loan. He should have got more experienced players in the squad. And yeah, overall, not for me. And that's it for me. And that ultimately is where I'm at the moment, guys. Big up to everybody in the chat. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching and listening to me right now. Just going to say a few hellos to everybody who's been watching. Hope you're liking the stream because there's a lot of effort into that, putting this all together for you guys. And if you are watching back, please like the stream and subscribe and put your notifications on because there'll be more shows like this. Also, probably a debate show coming up soon, but that's working on that on the background. But also, now I've got this off my chest now, we're going to be switching it up on Mr. Box Office TV. We're going to be switching it up. Nothing's changed in terms of my opinion, no. About the club, no. About the manager, no. Nothing's going to change there. what will happen is that I will switch up doing some more less reactive content because I've got a bit fed up of saying the same things. I'm not that guy anymore that likes saying the same things. It gets a bit boring. It's disheartening, and that's not why I like football. People like football because they want to enjoy it and take their mind off things. Now, if I'm always complaining about stuff, it just gets a bit boring sometimes. And I'm not saying that I'm wrong for doing it because I'm going to say what I feel. That's what Mr. Box Office does, Unleash, which you just got today. And Mr. Box Office Unleash, another episode of that on why I don't like Postecoglou. But less reactive content because long in the making is the best, the worst, the bang average top 5 is coming soon. And I'm working on that for you guys to come soon. Hopefully this Christmas. Hope everybody is looking forward to that coming at the and looking forward to the new year. But also some things about football, just talk about football in general, because that's what we want to do. Talk about the old times, talk about the new times that are coming forward, and some little surprises as well. So that's what we're hopefully looking forward to. Also, a debate show as well, because I think it's good to have a good old debate with certain people that don't agree with me, that want to have their say, but don't agree with me. And let's see whether you've got the bottle to, because you have the bottle to say it in the comments and call me out then. But if you do have the bottle to come on stream and actually say it and have a go at me, and that's it. So those are all the things that I'm looking to do on the channel. So keep liking, subscribing, keep notifications on, and keep locked in, because it's a new dawning's coming on Mr. Box Office TV, and it's coming soon, and exciting times are coming for the channel, and that and keep it locked in, everybody. So big up to Glenn Hoddle, big up to you. Yeah, Ange's record this season is similar to Nino's in his at Spurs. Too many fans are giving it Ange a pass for the poor results. I hope we sack him too. Yeah, listen, I don't think he will be sacked. I think the manager is very much. I think he either will walk, which I predicted. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think he will be sacked. So I think he's got a couple of seasons. I think maybe next season will be the telling tale for me. Whether he wins the trophy, that's the thing. That's the interesting thing right now. Scott M, big up to you. There's no logical reason to back Ange, and the feelings, views, and apologies come out with sad. Yeah, to be honest with you, everyone's got their own opinions on that. For me, I've just done. You've just heard what I've just said. Big up to you, Spurs analyst. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Love the shows that you're doing so far. Please like and subscribe to his channel. Big up to Chinks. Big up to you, the real one. Big up to you. Big up to you, Edward Oz. Big up to you. Well, I'm not going to support Liverpool. No, I'm going to support Tottenham. That's my team, mate. Big up to you, though. You're one of the ones that if I do start the debate show up, I'd love you to come on and debate me why I'm wrong. Just debate me and show me. And you have to put your camera on though. But I would love to see why you say that. Newcastle are a mid-table team, but they've got a bit better coach than us. Simple. That's it. Big up to you, Hotspur Hood. Big up to you. Big up to you, Lee Stratton TV. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to We Spurs TV. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to you, Elijah. Please like and subscribe to his channel. Another good YouTube, good content creator. Very, very creative for what he does, and definitely someone to watch. Definitely one to watch. Definitely. Big up to you, Ben Hedge. Big up to you. Big up to you, International Observer. Big up to you. Big up to you, Chance Nakub. Big up to you. Big up to you, Aston Pollard. Big up to you. Yeah, the theatre of entertainment, definitely. theatre entertainment for the other teams, the other rivals, our rivals, yeah, but not for Tottenham Hotspur fans. I tell you that. Well, it's not for me anyway. I mean, he makes some. He's making some points here, Edward. Edway of Oz. I mean, yeah, but Ten Hag still won 2 trophies, and he still got sacked at Manchester United. So yeah, they could win something. You're not wrong. We're still in all the 4 competitions at the moment. So yeah, the Premier League's out of our reach. Obviously, that's an obvious thing. But we're not out the FA Cup because it hasn't started yet for us. We're not out the Carabao Cup. We're not out, definitely not out of Europe. So we still can win stuff. Yeah, we could. But whether we're good enough, I don't think we are good enough. I don't rate our team. So if I don't rate my team, I don't rate my team. That's the way it is. But we're up to you. Apparently, we're gonna win winning. We're above winning the Carabao Cup. Well, that makes me laugh. When it's the last trophy we won, we're not too big for that. Sorry, we can't be beggars, can't be choosers. It's like me saying, yeah, if I'm not confident to chat to any lady, you know, I can't just, you just got to know who you are as a person. Maybe that's a wrong sort of analogy to just use, but sometimes you can't be, if you can only afford certain things in life. There's only certain things that you can afford, so you can't be picky, can you? You just have to go for what you can afford, and that's it. So that's really the reality of things, not against anybody that is in difficult situations. Nobody, no. I'm just that maybe is a bad example, but forgive me. But I'm trying to put an analogy, trying to put an example. It's a bit of a bad example, but yeah, it's just one of those frustrating things. Big up to you, Elson Edwardson. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to you, Cotley Geezer. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to you, Samuel Ingram. Big up to you. Tottenham fans, Tottenham fans should listen to Sir Alex Ferguson and back your manager. I don't agree with you, Samuel. I can't back this manager right now. He hasn't proven anything to me. And that's really it for me. And that's a big up to you. We need 2 or 3 superstars for multiple reasons, mainly boost the squad's quality and carry a threat commercially to keep the fan base going and excite us. We picked with mid-range guys. Yeah, well, I can completely agree, but a lot of fans were saying that we had generational talents. We had a better squad than we had last season. Beg to differ on that. Very, very quickly. Big up Rogli. Vinet, big up to you. We're winning the league. Well, in my dreams. Everyone else's dreams, we've got to be honest. Big up to you, Adam Phillips. Big up to you, Boomverse. Yeah, it's all about consistency. It's all about consistency. And unfortunately, we haven't got consistency. And I don't know why people don't see it. They don't see it at all. I don't understand why people don't understand why we haven't got inconsistency. And you can see it's quite clear why we've not got any consistency. And I don't understand why people are going over the subject. I don't see it. I don't see why we're not, and that's why I can't back this. It's quite clear why we're not consistent, because we've got inconsistent players, and we didn't get anybody better. Quite clear, and that's on Ange and Lange. It's Ange and Lange. It kind of rhymes, doesn't it? But yeah, overall, I'm not with this manager at all, and it does feel a bit of a weight has been put off my shoulders now saying this, because I wasn't able to. People say they don't understand what I say. Well, I've quite explained to you in this thing, in what I've said today. Ultimately, we didn't show ambition with the other managers. We've got a good squad of players that, if we use them right, we could do better with them. But it's just frustrating watching us. It's the same old thing. It's boring. It's just really, really boring. And I can't back a manager that I've got no feeling for at the moment. I've got nothing to go on. Nothing to go on with this manager. And I really feel passionate about it, and I just don't care anymore. And less the energy of being Mr. Box Office is kind of seeping through, because I sit there and think I normally have the energy for it, but if I had the energy just to say the same thing after same thing after same thing, what am I doing here? It's not enjoyment to say the same thing. It's depressing. And at the end of the day, life is not to be depressed about. You're here to enjoy yourself. And no, I'm not going to change my attitude. The players and the managers got to change their attitude. They've got to show me, because they can do something about it. I can't. I can only just watch and say, oh, well, you show me. The only thing I can do, what Alex can do, is just enjoy life and do things that he can control. That's all he can do. This is not, I can't do nothing. Me shouting, saying, come on, you Spurs. Yeah, come on, Werner. Actually try and score today. Solanke, score today. What's that good that's going to do? They've got the control on what to do. They get paid the money, to do what they need to do. They made the decisions they made. So they've got to learn and lump it and do something and show themselves. Make themselves known, like I always do say. But we're going to be wrapping up soon, guys. Big up to everybody in the chat. Like I said, we're going to be changing it up a little bit, switching up a little bit on Mr. Box Office TV. Yeah, I might do a few shows on the team currently, but I try to do little things different. Like I said, that some videos have been way too long in the making, and it's coming soon, and it will be on Mr. Box Office TV. Something changing it up a little bit for you, all you guys that subscribe to Mr. Box Office TV. So keep locked in, keep it locked out, keep locked in on the channel. And big up to everybody who's watched today. Please like and subscribe. And as always, on the day where again we had the same old thing, same back to type, same old inside forwards. Johnson, who for me, that's another thing as well. I forgot to even talk about him. I'm going to rename him the below average Raheem Sterling up to now, because when that pace goes, it's gone, and you won't see the same Johnson. He'll be struggling. So for me, he's scoring goals at the moment because he can catch up with Timo Werner. But when that pace goes, because it's going to be the same with Van der Ven, then it'll be relying on him being actually a skillful player. And you saw what happened with Aaron Lennon when he lost his pace. There was nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. Same with Timo Werner. So for me, he ain't nothing special. Like Timo Werner, nothing special. So I'm not going to give him credit for doing his job. I'm not doing that, because let's be honest here, he ain't no Bukayo Saka, and Saka scores more goals than him and shows more and progressed more in his game. And I bet he's the same age as bloody team. He's kind of the same age as Johnson. That says a lot. That says a lot. And Timo Werner, don't get me started, doing his job. Yeah, because he's lucky because nobody else is competing for him. Because Son's not playing very well at the moment. So then he's got an open door. But let's be honest here, he ain't really setting the world alight, isn't he? And that's on you, Ange. That's on you. That's on you, Lange. Yes. And at the moment, I'm still waiting to see whether you're going to prove anything more than that. But that's me done. That's me done with this whole thing with Ange. I'm gonna try and stop talking about him because I've said everything I said already now. And now we're gonna move on to actually doing some actually less reactive content. And that's a little bit of fun. And show a different side to Mr. Bot's office, and that's it. So that was kind of a sidetrack to what I really wanted to do, wrap up the show. But big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody watching at home. Again, on the day where we let the team down again. Again, on the day when I'm singing this song again. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to reality again for Tottenham Hotspurs fans again. Telling us that just to smile. But why do I not smile? Because I get days like this. Inconsistencies. And it's just the same old thing every single time. Nothing really else to say on this, and that's it. Because if it don't look right, it don't make sense. Can't even play on the word of if it don't make money, it don't make sense. Tottenham Hotspur every single time. But as always, as we wrap up the show, and big up to everybody in the chat, as we wrap up the show, if you didn't know, get to know, support your boy, Mr. Bot's office, subscribe and like, and come on you Spurs. And we're out.